Literally every year, I take thousands of photos. And for the longest time, they have been stuck in the digital. We are literally living in the digital age. This is a digital camera. It creates digital memories. Recently, I've been turning those digital memories into something tangible. We're gonna be going down the rabbit hole of printing out my photos and creating photo albums. So before we begin any further, everything that you need to start printing out your photos will be linked in the description, from my printer that I use to the paper that I use and these awesome little photo albums for you to store your photos in. Everything linked in the description, definitely go check it out. What I really love about this setup is it's small, it's affordable, and genuinely it just changed how I experience my photography. So we'll go ahead and start with the setup itself and get that out the way. And then we'll dive a little deeper in terms of how printing out my work just changed my overall experience with my photography. So the printer that I am using is the Canon Selphy 1500. What a name, guys. Phenomenal name. This little printer, what I love about it is it's pretty much plug and play. And this is my just grand entrance into printing out my work. Eventually, later down the line, I do want to print out on a bigger scale. But for now, just for me, for my personal sake, to just have these moments printed out, I've been using this little printer. And I must admit, this little printer is great. It's a phenomenal printer. You don't have to worry about ink. If you guys know anything about printing, anything about printers, most of what you might know is you have to deal with ink. And this printer, there's no ink involved. There's no ink, there's no toner, none of that. Literally, it comes with everything you need. With a combo of the paper and the little cartridges, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So if it says 108 sheets, you're gonna literally get 108 prints, which I love. You don't have any leftovers. Everything is perfectly dialed, which I really, really love. And also with this printer, something that I do want to eventually get is the battery option for this printer and take this thing out in the field. Say I'm at a car meet and I take some photos of the cars. I think it'll be really cool to print out the photos really quick and then give the photos to people. It's just such a unique way for other people to experience photography and for you to just gift the beauty of photography through printing out work. So that's something a little later down the line I'll look into. But that is an option, and it's something that is really cool. It does have an optional battery pack that you can buy for this little printer and start printing on the go, which is pretty cool. Guys, this thing is super compact, super portable. You can slip it in a book bag and go out and go print and have fun. The size that I have been using this printer in is 4x6, which is honestly, I feel kind of that like perfect size, especially for a photo album. All right, I'm literally gonna show you guys how easy it is to print out with this printer right here. So here's the printer and there's the photo that we're gonna use. So you're gonna go ahead, I'm using Lightroom right here, export this photo, whatever photo you wanna use. Also, a little side note, what I love about this printer is you can print with Wi-Fi, SD card, or USB-C. I always just use USB-C. So it's connected to my computer, USB-C. So once you open the file for the photo, you'll go ahead and hit File, Print. And then here are the settings that I use. I use postcard, postcard borderless, and then fill entire paper. That way the entire paper that is going to be printed on is going to be the entire photo. And press print. And it's going to start the print process. You have a printed photo. Like I said, link is in the description for all this stuff. But this is the little photo album I've been using. Check out little me right there. And I've just been printing out my work. And when I look and flip through this, like I'm looking at this photo right here. This is when I was in Miami like 2 years ago with a friend. And it just brings back like core memories and just core memory unlocks. And just shows me my path as a photographer. Shows me like, this is when I was shooting with my Sony a7 IV with my 70-200 and I had the Trinity lens. And just by looking at these photos, you teleport into a different time of your life and you're able to like see where you've been. And it's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful experience. And it's just really changing the way I experience my photography. As you guys know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And by having your photos printed out, literally the words start singing to you. And it's something just so beautiful about being able to flip through these photos. This will last. You know, this little photo album will be here for the next 50 years. I hope, hopefully nothing crazy happens, but if I keep this thing in good condition, it's going to last 50, 100 years. And I love that aspect of tangible artifacts, of tangible things that I can one day pick up when I'm much older and be able to flip through and relive the experience of when I was younger. That is exactly how it's changing the way I view my photography. Recently, I literally got my hands on a family photo album from when I was a little kid. And it just brought a whole new prospect in terms of what photography means to me. Huge shout out to my mom. She was with the camera, taking photos, and just documenting these little family moments, and took the time to print out all these photos, put them in a photo album. And then here I am today at 25 years old, flipping through this freaking photo album and just like looking back on my childhood through her eyes. And it's something that is like really, really beautiful and something like a tradition that I want to continue. And it's broadened my perspective on photography and this vehicle to document life. And I definitely went down the lane of photography of like, wanting to just take those banger images for social media. And that's a whole nother story, is like how social media has changed the way we interact with photography. That's a whole nother story. But taking a step back with printing out my work nowadays, it's really just like put me back in the zone of creating artifacts and documenting life and being intentional with how I shoot and even shooting the little mundane, ordinary moments. I take my camera literally everywhere I go. And this tool allows me to just freeze frame little moments of life, these little windows, and be able to look back on them, whether I'm with friends, having fun. I'm taking my camera with me. If I'm out backpacking the world, traveling the world, I'm taking my camera with me. If I'm literally going downtown to a little coffee shop to get some coffee, I'm taking my camera with me. It's capturing all those moments and the ones in between. Quick little story. I had my friend come over and we went downstairs into where I filmed these little videos and have all my photos. And he picked up one of the photo albums and just started going through it. And he himself was in the photo album. And he was flipping through this photo album and he saw himself a few times actually and was just like, looked at me. He was like, I understand why you do photography now. And I was like, it clicked. Like he understands, like just these like moments. He forgot some of these moments himself, and having these moments printed out, set in stone. It's a physical, tangible thing that you can feel, that you can flip through. Just like really gets the senses going, is what I find. And I think that really resonates in today's world of like today's world is so digital. We are like so digital. We're only going even more digital. So just taking a step back and like this just like whole like analog kind of experience, analog kind of living, I've been like being more intentional about. One of those ideas revolves around printing out these photos and bringing them into this physical world from the digital world has been just giving me a lot of joy and just a lot of excitement to keep going out, keep creating these memories, keep shooting, even just the, like I said, mundane, ordinary moments. Just enjoy photography for what it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to definitely be bringing my camera to my travel adventures and all this good stuff. But even bringing my camera to the gym and just taking photos, if my brother's there, taking photos of him at the gym, taking photos of myself. I think it's going to be really interesting to like just look back on these photos in 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, 50 years. I think it's going to be quite interesting. And that is literally exactly how printing out my photos has just changed my overall experience with my photography. So hopefully you guys like this video. And like I said, everything is linked in the description. Small little Canon photo printer, the paper and cartridge that you need, and also the photo album. It's relatively affordable. It's definitely changed the way I view and experience my photography, and I think it'll do the same for you. So something else I have been working on in the background is my newsletter. If you guys like this video, you like some of these ideas, you like some of this sprinkling of philosophy, you like some of these photos, link in the description to my newsletter. This is where I go a little more in depth with some of these ideas, future projects, exclusive photos, exclusive thoughts, lens of life. That is the name of my newsletter. Just this like journey of life. That's really what it is. I'm just documenting my creative journey, and one way I'm channeling that is with my newsletter. So if you guys are interested, highly recommend checking it out. Also, Instagram, link in the description. And then if you really made it this far, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. If you follow me, if you follow this channel, you know I love this camera. This is the Leica M11P. I've been shooting with this camera since January of 2025, and I got a new lens. Guys, I got a new lens for this camera, and this is the Summilux 1.4 steel rim. Guys, we're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking about it. So if you made it this far, this is just a little treat. I appreciate you guys watching. We got a new lens. We got some epic things coming up. We got some trips. We got actually a big trip coming up. We're gonna be flying. I'm not gonna say it yet, but we got a long flight coming up. And we're gonna be going to one of my dream destinations in about a month. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.